Hi, my name's Nigel here, and I want to talk to you today about how to become more successful with your sales calls, whether they're face-to-face or over the telephone. And many people over the years have searched for the secret of success in the past, but my favourite response is when Paul Getty, who at the time was the richest man in the world, he was asked to give his recipe for success, and after thinking about it for a while, he said, first of all, you've got to get up early. Secondly, work really hard. And thirdly, strike oil. Unfortunately, that's not something that's going to be available to most of us, is it? And perhaps we're all not going to be able to accomplish that. I prefer to say that what we really need to be successful in sales is the slight edge. And what do I mean by that? It's basically consistently doing the right thing at the right time, all of the time. And the techniques we're going to be talking about during this program are going to be easy for you to do, but here's the caveat, they're also going to be easy for you not to do. And what's going to make this work for you is for you to take massive, consistent action, daily, consistent action. If you really think about it, the difference between success and failure, first place and second, losing and winning, it's all really very slight. And yet the rewards for being the successful winner, they're enormous, especially if you compare them to the possibility of mediocrity or coming second, or even worse than that, failing completely. So during this training program, I'll talk you through the vital steps that are going to guarantee you will see dramatic improvements in your sales results. How can I say this? Because I've seen it 1,000 times with 1,000 different salespeople. The style adopted in the 80s for both selling as well as training salespeople is no longer effective. In fact, if it ever really was, of course. Why? Because no one likes to be sold to. And the minute anybody feels they're being sold to, they immediately shoot up those barriers and they start what I call the getting rid of you process. Truth be known, really nobody really likes to feel they're actively selling to somebody either. At the same time, everybody loves to buy. You just watch my wife trying to walk past a shoe or handbag shop. It's almost impossible for her. Even though she's got millions of them at home, she still wants to buy more. And that's the same for all of us. We all love to buy that latest gadget, the new car, the special clothes. We buy them and then we like to show them off to anybody who will listen to us, don't we? You only have to look at the definitions in the dictionary for selling and compare that to the definition of buying. The definition of buying is the act of willingly acquiring for money something that you want or need, and the buyer generally leaves the transaction feeling happy and satisfied. That sounds great, doesn't it? Compare that though to the definition of selling, which is attempting to convince another that they want or need your product or service, despite the fact they may not. And the purchaser will typically leave the transaction with a strong feeling of buyer's remorse. What's buyer's remorse? It's when the buyer says, maybe. And by the way, that's worse than no. Or perhaps he says, I'll think about it. Or call me next week. Or I'll call you. And then he disappears off the planet. You can't get hold of him. They don't return your calls. They get locked into meetings that can't be disturbed. Basically, you've lost them. But with a lot of time, effort, being wasted. And remember, it's only Arnie that when he says he's coming back, he's true to his word. Since the 80s, by the way, selling has become far more subtle. As well as that, it's become far more psychological. We understand now far more about buying strategies, as well as how our brains make decisions and how to elicit the individual's buying strategies. Experiential training techniques have also revolutionised the training process. No longer do we have enforced, ineffective role play after painful role play on delegates who, quite frankly, become so frightened to death about the whole experience, they quite often forget to take on board the techniques that will be so beneficial to them. And yes, there are still practice sessions, but far less frightening, much more varied, and also they're tremendous fun too. Delegates now, after listening to the powerful theory behind the techniques, get a chance with team activities, games, workshops, brainstorming sessions to develop their own personal processes. applicable to them, their markets, their customers, and of course the newly developed skills. In addition to the open public courses on offer, we're also delighted to be able to offer to you the ability to take advantage of our brand new free training videos. So please follow the link on our website to take advantage of these very valuable free tools, and they're guaranteed to improve your sales results. On video 1, we cover the top 10 tips that make your research totally effective. We look at making sure you have the right marketing strategy and that you're able to use the full marketing mix. Not just leaflets and expensive advertising that quite frankly can be quite ineffective at times, but the full marketing mix, many of this totally free to you. We also talk about making sure you're targeting the right customers, specifically targeting those customers with the right message and improving your lead generation and making those cold calls warm as well as more effective. On video 2, we look at the pre-call checklist. We've all heard of failing to plan is like planning to fail, and yes, that's a bit cheesy, but it also happens to be true. But what do you plan? How do you plan it? And this video talks you through the logical planning process to ensure that you're guaranteed success, and that when you make those sales calls, whether it's face-to-face or over the phone call, you're guaranteed that success. Planning is about bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it. Other training CDs available to you will teach you how to build instant rapport, effective communication skills, how to ask the right questions at the right time to elicit the buyer's needs and his buying strategy. We'll teach active listening skills, how to use effectively features, advantages, and of course especially the benefits. We'll look at how to present effectively, including how to tie in the benefits of your product or service with the customer's needs and requirements. And obviously we'll talk through with you how to overcome objections, spot those buying signals, and closing the sale effectively. We'll also help and uncover the best kept secret in sales, the use of the back-end blueprint. And this tactic alone could revolutionise your sales and marketing process, unlocking the most lucrative element of your marketing strategy and of course the customer potential. So whether you want to take advantage of our video course or visit us on our public or bespoke training courses, I hope I'm going to talk to you again very shortly, because I would love to help you increase your sales results. I'm so confident we can do this, and that's why we guarantee success in this process.